the action immediately. Very fast pistol round indeed. We've got a 2-man advantage now for our CTs of Eternal Fire. Make that 3 as SunPayus will be the last one to fall. A backflip. No points from the judges for that one. They lose the pistol round.
Yeah, they've been very good on pistol rounds, actually. Eternal Fire have been on the ball, won both on Vertigo, and now get off to a nice clean sheet as well when they moved into Mirage. So we'll have to see whether there's going to be any sort of changes here, because they've also been very, very solid at just keeping players alive in the following rounds, not losing their heads against the upgraded weaponry from ENCE. So it jump-started both sides, and we'll see if Eternal Fire can get off to the nice opening that they had on their own map pick.
Momentum for Woxic & Co. as they start the defensive side of Mirage. May not bode well for ENCE, but they have invested into this one. They have intentions, and those intentions are bad as far as Eternal Fire are concerned. Some flashes in connector, but no shots just yet. They will be fired, and there will be trades in that connector position, but XANTARES has the M4 and the upper hand. 2 frags for him as CT is somewhat taken by ENCE.
Retake will be a little difficult, but they have utility in spades. They don't have a kit though, so timing's going to be the big thing. But the double up from Emor, he just used X-Cloud as bait, and they bite down. Diha now left to try and deny the defuse, but sitting back in nestling himself into a corner. XANTARES not quite fully considering it, and Diha gets the quick flick on the head, but Emor's there to trade things out. The trade machine. Emor off to a good start, and Eternal Fire get the defuse.
They did enough of what they needed to do, send in the low-health player to take the risky information and then finish off the job with Emor and Paz. A consecutive round for the CT team. Looking to 2-0. There's a lot of support here, as you can see in the crowd. Also have ESL Impact caster Veerless in the crowd. I can see it just going out of the camera there, so hello to you as well. But indeed, they are able to hold on to the chaos that ENCE are trying to cause. ENCE at least got a bomb plant from this, but not the round that they were also looking for.
Because of the bomb plant as well, they'll invest in rifles, and they've got some utility to try and make this work. They can't just go for standard map control with these nades. They don't have enough to play around with. They'll have to try and go for something later into the round to see if they can maybe converge onto the A bomb site via mid or not. But XANTARES is making sure that they can't get past the underpass. Madden is there to trade things out at least, but Woxic still lingers round and at least make sure that top mid isn't the contested territory. Slow roll here for ENCE. They don't want to get caught off by an aggressive setup, and Paz does take the fight. A lot of damage, but SunPayus responds, and Madden's got another as well. That's the B anchor dealt with, so they can try and get that bomb over, but Diha's already committed out, so actually linking up will be difficult between these two.
You'll have to wait for Martin to make a play, it seems. Or as I say that, actually, he's making his way towards jungle. So Martin's going to show some presence and bait them over as Diha gets the kill. That's getting very cheeky indeed. But where are they headed? Because Woxic in the underpass. He's got some sound cues here. So they will be heading towards the B bomb site there. You can see Diha carrying the bomb. But Woxic's going to be in the apartments. He has a kit as well, which gives him a little extra time. But can he find the frags? Could be coming from a number of positions. You can see Modern towards that short area. Diha looking at the apartments at present from behind that bench position. So many angles to clear for Woxic. He's been spotted now, which means he knows he's going into a crossfire. Quick reload. Can he get a 1 versus 1? Getting tagged in the back. Looks to his right. Fragged from the... Looks to his left frag from the right. Nicely done in the end. We have a score for both teams now. 1-2.
These two are a real power combo. Just having Madden and Diha performing well is a real solution for a lot of ENCE T-side struggles. Even if they don't get SunPayus activated, it feels like those two can always pull up some good numbers. Some of the top-rated players from the event for their T-sides, albeit the sample size low, but even on Vertigo, they were able to have a lot of success.
A rough buy for Eternal Fire. XANTARES has got the French rifle out. X-Cloud with the CZ, which used to be as good as the FAMAS, if not better, from a certain range, has since been nerfed. I did continue to highlight that until it had been so. Won't take credit for it, of course, but that CZ was somewhat outrageous. Still a strong weapon. Marden walking into a potential trade frag situation, looking for it though. Doesn't have the angle for XANTARES. Picking a trade frag, Snappy with a max end. X-Cloud punishing through the smoke, pulling out the knife, pulling out the AK as well. Goodbye to Diha. And Snappy is left in a 1 versus 3. The bomb has been loft in a really bad spot as well. But do they know where he's coming from?
Molly down. I think they have their suspicions that Snappy slipped on by and making it so that it takes longer to get to that bomb. Snappy making some sound, and XCloud should be able to punish this. Bomb will be retrieved, but not within the sight lines of Eternal Fire. They're all over this site, though. They see him out from the window, and Emor will be there to find the kill. It looked like ENCE were about to grab that round, but XCloud coming in with that double in the apartments, immediately shutting it.
Yeah, I'm surprised he went straight for the bomb plant there with around a minute on the clock. I thought he would have the urgency to try and find a kill. Perhaps he thought the CTs were further away, not getting shot from the window as he retrieves the bomb. But indeed, it will be another round for the CTs. 3-1 in favor of Eternal Fire. We have a technical pause, as you can see. Lots of people in the crowd now.
Not many opportunities you get to see Eternal Fire on LAN, neither ENCE as well, you know, especially with them heading to the major quite soon, unless you're traveling all the way over to Rio, which can be quite a commitment, and you'd honestly probably be a hell of a super fan as well. That major is going to be absolutely crazy, but good that we have all those fans as well in the crowd, making sure that the Turkish players have their support, and anyone that's as well holding out for any of these international players on ENCE have collected themselves together. I mean, this is a legend stage team that we have in front of us, and they are a map in the series down. If Eternal Fire could topple them here, you know, we had this conversation as well when we were talking about Mouse. The desk was saying like, oh, maybe they were saving some stuff for the major. But if you are serious about winning the major, winning ESL Challenger Rotterdam first can push you on that upward trajectory, and then you can sit pretty in the confidence that you're able to outcall all of these teams that you maybe think you should beat when you encounter them at the major as well. Eternal Fire missed that boat. They weren't able to get themselves out of the RMR. So for them, it's about revenge, and saying that for the next seasons, they'll have to be a real threat.
Yeah, not just about revenge, though. Of course, they need to find stability with the roles that they all have, who's the IGL, what the roster is, and so on. So they need as much XP as they can get. But we know they're certainly capable of winning a map, as we saw on Vertigo, with their current status quo. But that will only be built upon game after game, round after round. Now, at the beginning of this series, Alan on the desk said that he thought Eternal Fire were about 35%. I wonder if that was predicated on them taking the first map, or if that maybe changes even now with these early rounds on Mirage, taking the initial ones. Obviously, still close. We're in the baby steps of Mirage, but it's always nice to start well and get that momentum early. Yeah,
and Alan, I think, might have converted a little bit because he was saying Emor out-called Snappy on the desk. And that's... I didn't want to be the one to say it because I'm just getting lost in the excitement of Eternal Fire, but it did seem like they were outmaneuvering them and had some good reads on what ENCE were up to. So for even that, to go so early into what is, I guess, another change that they've been making, for Eternal Fire to even have a result like that, you know, you expected ENCE to put up a decent performance because they will have to play Vertigo against more top teams moving forward. You have learning some hard lessons at the start of this series, that's for sure.
Referee having a conversation with ENCE. Not sure what the tech pause is for at present. We'll try and get that information for you. I do notice a lack of shaved heads in the crowd, though. Kind of feel a bit isolated here.
Where are all my shaved head friends at?
Yeah. Let's get a razor through that crowd. Pass it from person to person.
That would be a hell of a content piece. I don't know if anybody would really agree to it.
Hey, you'd be surprised. We've shaved someone's head on stage before. Fallen gave someone a Ronaldo haircut, if I remember correctly, which is probably the worst one he could have possibly given. 3-1 is our current scoreline if you're just joining us. Emor with 6 kills leads the scoreboard at present. Valde still looking to find his first frag of the game. Mirage, our second map of the series. Eternal Fire had ENCE catching up on them in the second half, but managed to pull away eventually to take their pick of Vertigo, and they lead on ENCE's pick of Mirage.
Well, admin negotiations finished. We get back into the action, and ENCE don't have anything really to write home about. Their buy is poor, and Eternal Fire will make sure that they stay where they are. Stay in their lane. Eternal Fire getting a nice open start, but we saw that one answered round from ENCE. They had chances on rifles, but yeah, I don't think the pistols are really going to be too fruitful. Eternal Fire have been very good at denying anti-force buys when it's sort of come up against them.
XANTARES is just in warm-up mode here. He's all over mid from bottom to top. He will be picked off by Snappy's late emergence in the underpass, but Paz with the M4A4, you love to see those bursts. I still prefer it myself, regardless of the meta. Marden 1 versus 4 now. Looks to do as much damage as he can. He's dropped him or made it 3, of course. 32 HP, but you only need 1 to land a deagle shot. There's a very clean Night Butterfly, I must say. See if he can find a second now as he elevates, and indeed he does. 54 seconds, and he's carrying the bomb. There's nobody currently on the A-bomb site. He'll surely expect that one of the 2 players will be.
Got his hands on an AK and a Molotov as well, so if he gets any information about one of these players, he can certainly separate him, get enough space to get that plant in, because they are so distant from one another. Paz and XCloud not able to link up successfully, but now they have info that Madden should be planting on the site. A little hard to hear within earshot, but Paz as well has that information to play off of, and Madden will have to go for something sneaky, something cheeky. He's hoping that someone rotates through CT, but nobody will be there. ENCE are on leaving a lot on the line here for Madden to maybe win this, but Eternal Fire have to put this one together.
He has got way too far in this round, and he might not be done just yet. They are slowly creeping forward, and as you'll probably realize that he's going to be in that position. He's found an incendiary and dropped it on the bomb. Can they defuse it? The smoke is there. That gives him an angle to spray, though. Surely he's going to find both of them and robbed the round. Absolutely ridiculous. 1v4 with a deagle and 30 HP, and he's taken everything.
That is perfectly played as well from Madden. Kept his head cool throughout, and even with that smoke, it just made things more awkward. They had no way to save one another. They just line up for the spray. And to think things started so well for Eternal Fire, Paz getting all of those kills, Madden, I mean, that's just incredible for him to have pulled off.
He was supposed to make it a little bit expensive, maybe a frag here, that's about it. I'm probably going to die. Takes everything, the whole round, and look at how that has flipped the early part of this first half on its head. Now it's forced by territory for Eternal Fire, a scout, some pots and pans really to fight with, almost no grenades, versus a fully kitted 4AK AWPT side now. Very thankful for that. Snappy will, oh god, I was going to say he's going to be happy he just about saw the leg, but he also saw the barrel of the Desert Eagle, and now he's gone.
Counter molly, and Emor gets nowhere with his AK. Tried to escape somehow, but they're a quick up con. Woxic, good shot on the scout. Immediate decapitation, and now they're trying to boost up as well. Above the smoke, they had no idea Valde's gone, but Dihas close by. At least Paz able to get the trade, so SunPayus left with his AWP and can pick off Woxic nicely. Paz, XFlow, they'll want to hide, not make sure that SunPayus has as hard a read on this as possible. So difficult to anticipate where all the Eternal Fire players are, especially XCloud. No confirmation about where he was last seen. And Paz just narrowly ducking out of sight before SunPayus would have spotted him. He's trying to find something so desperately here. He might even reroute.
That timing would have been catastrophic for Paz, and it still could be. Starting to push, thought to himself, nope, but he will receive the AWP shot in the chest anyway, punctured by SunPayus, who makes his way towards B. XCloud in that short position. SunPayus with eyes on the kitchen, on the shop rather, moving back now. A tag through the box won't be enough, and by the skin of his teeth, he takes the round for Eternal Fire. That was a close one, all too close.
I can't believe that. I thought we were going to see back-to-back clutches here for ENCE, and instead that single piece of wood that stands in his way is what leads to another Eternal Fire victory. They have to be very nervous now, moving even into future rounds. If they find themselves at numbers advantages, they cannot sit pretty on those laurels. They know that every single one of these players can be a threat, and we have already seen that.
How did they lose this round, though? That was an important trade for the CTs. Let's not forget how ill-equipped Eternal Fire were to start that off, but they traded well when it counted. XCloud towards the very end, a stroke of luck, that AWP shot going through the box, but that one should have been in the bag for ENCE from the start. So we will continue to have a very difficult time here for both squads on Mirage. We'll see who can stabilize first. And of course, this is the pick of ENCE. They can't afford to lose too many rounds like that.
And so good as well to see Paz engaged on this team. I think I won't lie. I think I was kind of calling for his head. If anybody was going to be removed for this Eternal Fire roster, it felt like he hadn't really found himself on this team. But now he's being presented with opportunities and nailing them. The Vertigo was fantastic, especially on CT's side, and now as well he's come into some good form for this series. I said that Emor has also been able to identify his own game style and have his contributions. Paz alongside him for all of that. There are a lot of different players that can pop off.
I would expect these force buys to continue until somebody wins a consecutive round. And almost all the rounds in this half thus far have been trade rounds. After the pistol, XANTARES forced to fall back as Snappy jumps around the corner. Woxic has a decision to make. He's got to make it fast. Fight or flight. He chooses the performer. It doesn't work out for him. And we've got a man advantage, friends. They plant the bomb in the open. That's going to be a hard one to defuse. One kit in the hands of XANTARES. We'll keep an eye on that if they can get that far. But surely they've got to find some kills first.
Smoke at ramp. They know that one's in Palace as well, but they want that duel. Martin having a first in Paz, and XANTARES collecting on a couple of kills. Paz still alive. A 1v1. SunPayus trying to hide. Find the right time to strike, but Paz comes in clutch. It is an Eternal Fire round again. Another close clutch 1v1s all day, it feels like, on Mirage, but ends worse for wear in just these past couple rounds.
There is the consecutive round for Eternal Fire, but with a giant asterisk. The CTs survive with only one player alive, and the T's plant the bomb, so it is possible that we see another force buy here. But again, back and forth. Looks so rough for the CTs on that retake. The bomb planted, completely exposed, multiple angles and potential crossfires to deal with, but it had just enough utility to give them a bit more confidence and go through and take it away. But again, another round where it's advantage ENCE and they don't convert. They're 3 rounds behind now. I do wonder what they're going to do about this.
Yeah, 3 versus 4, that was eventually 2 versus 4, but if not for the contributions of XANTARES and Paz, the round never gets going. I think as well, ENCE are having that hard discussion about how they fix it, make sure that they're all in the right mental for it. Maybe they even believed that they could have taken Vertigo. It was very back and forth. It says 16-11, you know, that was the defining scoreline, but there were many turning points in which ENCE could have taken control of that game, and they didn't.
We see the bomb plant is critical. It allows the AKs and Galils to come out. Eternal Fire are a breaking point. If ENCE can just finish off that little more, that little last piece of the puzzle in these rounds and shut them down completely. If they can just do that, they can catch up very quickly indeed. But if they fail here, it's going to be very frustrating. Valde is 0 for 7 at present. Very unlike a person of his skill. XANTARES says hello again, having a whale of a time here. Emor jiggling a bit too much, showing too much skin. Punished by Dihar, 4 versus 4 early. Minute 10 on the clock soon for ENCE to try and get the rest of them as well.
And it seems like they want to split this A side again. Upcon and having presence in both ramp and Palace. The smoke as well towards Connector. This will actually be a bit of a bluff and actually gets there just before the peak there from ENCE. So a man advantage once again, but that bomb dropped in no man's land. Paz plucking one out. The tag onto Valde. The no-scope follow-up from Woxic is flawless. And ENCE left wondering how it went all so wrong. A 3-on-2, and they've got a flank coming here for Eternal Fire, something they might not consider on ENCE.
They do not have the HP to withstand this MP9. Snappy's in a very difficult position. Minimal information. XFLAB's going to potentially elevate his position back on the floor. Who is he going to find first? Oh, he's getting poked. He's going to get finished off as well. Where is the other player though? It's down to Snappy now, 1 versus 2. And again, they just can't finish off the last piece in these rounds. Another round, another plant, but another round for Eternal Fire. 6-2. They keep answering the questions ENCE are asking of them.
And another set of issues when it comes to breaking into the bomb site. They had a 4-on-3, but then Woxic is able to get that kill as well towards CT. Paz cut down the bomb. They didn't have the utility to stop all these sight lines, especially jungle when it came down to it. Smoke at the connector never really quite hit, so Paz is able to have some great contributions, and they just used XFLAB to get information. He might have died getting nothing, but he got confirmation on both positions. Eco
Town for ENCE. Loss bonuses rising, and so will their purchases in a round such as this. The Tech 9s are here. Well-timed incendiary by XFLAB. will be smoked off though as they look to push the site. Opening frag for Woxic. XCloud trying to get the multi. XANTARES will get involved as well. SunPayus and Valde remain on this B bomb site, but only for a brief second or two. Feet barely flat on the ground before they get dropped by Eternal Fire. 7-2.
I can't believe how they're making this CT side look. Sure, there have been a lot of close rounds, but this is probably one of the cleanest we've seen so far. Just being able to stand their ground within the site as well. They had more than enough rotations to compensate. Only one casualty after so many close affairs. 2 surviving, 1 surviving. This time they have a little bit of money built up, and ENCE have still not found a solution.
This has got to be the turning point now. Of course, that was a half-buy for them, but they cannot capitulate any more rounds. They need to get something out of this first half. Nobody likes that long road to recovery. Make it close now. This is the time to strike. 13 kills for Paz. He is leading on a scoreboard. On ENCE's side, Marden with 10. Valde has finally found himself a kill. It's time for him to get a bit warmer.
Yeah, wasn't able to win the round. He got a kill on as well, so the importance of it is that he's finally broken through, but they want to be able to convert on rounds like it. Again, Valde adopting a lot of roles and has typically been pretty impactful or being able to get kills pretty consistently. It's just about whether they've been able to link that up into late round situations.
XANTARES has been an absolute menace in this game so far. Having a field day in the mid position, running in the underpass, running top mid, running out a connector. He wants all the kills. See Woxic repositioning with the AWP as connector is taken. Standard affair. That's a really important kill though. Paz getting dropped in that short position will deny information. Snappy with great timing. They've lost connection, control of connector. They've lost their connector player and the short player as well. XANTARES dropped. ENCE getting all the frags they need.
Snappy just says, I'll do it myself. Going up connector and finding those 2 kills so quick. Eternal Fire have nothing left to do but save. Marden got the entry on short as well, so there was a bit of a diversion planted there for ENCE. Weren't quite sure which direction they would have ended up heading, especially with the difficulties they've had on this T side so far. Eternal Fire were very quick to rotate on a popping B play. I think they anticipated that it could be more of the same.
That one looks pretty simple for ENCE.
Yeah.
Avoided the initial aggression from XANTARES in mid and then just simply took connector. Got their short kill. Got a well-timed kill through the smoke onto the stairs player, and away they went. A 3rd round on the board. Put the other rounds behind them. Just focus on the one in front of you.
And not chasing as well. I think they could have ended up in a pretty bad spot if they decided to throw guns at the problem, because they've had close rounds and I think they've realized as well that because of all those clutches we saw earlier on, there's probably more to happen here in this half. Don't want to end up in a massive rut just because you survive with 1 player. The growth of this squad, the Turkish dream is certainly alive. They built the Turkish super team and they dominate regionally. They bully all the nice up-and-coming Turkish players, but having
how you earn your stripes.
but earning it against an international team has been something that eluded this squad so far. SunPayus. Oh wow, he was holding for that angle, but Woxic still gets it. They both landed tags, but Woxic just hit a little harder.
Yeah, he got the wrong kind of clip and then got clipped. Man advantage is made even better as it's XANTARES once again, a continual nuisance in these rounds. Makes it a 5 versus 3 in favor of Eternal Fire. And that is quite telling. 2 grenades thrown in quick succession. That is 66% of the information. Not good enough for Woxic to get a frag though. Hold on a second, they're getting dropped. XCloud had no idea what was going on there. But XANTARES is still alive, and that's always going to be an issue. Gives Eternal Fire an advantage once again as they wait for that bomb to get planted.
Oh, tags onto Snappy, confirmed information. XANTARES will try and take the duel. They didn't want to lose a player, instead trying to trade on the aggro. Snappy naded, and XANTARES will finally finish the job. Paz is a long way away, but Emor and XANTARES are holding true in towards market, and Valde's going to get more and more curious. Only 1 kill so far this game, but needs 3 more to bring a 4th round for ENCE, unless they be trapped behind in the shadow of the Turkish squad. Valde, first kill's there. Paz is gone, but they're dinking him through the wall, and Emor will finally collect an 8th for Eternal Fire. These retakes have been close, but they will get another.
You can see the frustration for Valde there. This is an underwhelming T-side for ENCE at the moment. There's the Brofist he was waiting for. ENCE looking, this is getting pretty scary. I think these percentages are going to be changing real fast. It's going to be nervous money in the markets now as they cannot convert these rounds. They are getting the bomb plant, but they're not getting much else. That's going to be the 5th defuse for Eternal Fire in this half. ENCE getting close, but really not converting. 5-round deficit now. That looks to get larger as they don't all have rifles for ENCE. Got Snappy on the MAC-10, and that can be used with some well-timed flashbangs, especially towards this bomb site.
All about the timing and whether xCloud can read it correctly. Used his Molotov early, naded in deep, and they'll run right past it. Can't get the smoke down to cover himself off, and Snappy will chase him, so Paz has to stand true over towards short, gets his one, and will fall off, allowing for rotates to come in for Eternal Fire 4-on-4.
Incendiaries being thrown. The smoke will actually allow the CTs to rotate through if they can avoid the spray. Valde repositioning on short, but Paz is just standing there. Free kill for him. The trades will favor ENCE now. SunPayus will take down Woxic. It is Immor versus 3. Finds the 1v1, going for the transfer, switching to a new rifle as well. 17 bullets to find another one, but Marden's got a great angle, and ENCE are on the scoreboard again.
This time they don't let that butter slip through their fingers. These rounds have been so back and forth, but they hold onto the bomb site for the retake, and try as they might, it's Snappy, SunPayus that eventually cut down those numbers. Made it so much easier as well to play in the post plan as close as Immor might have had it. Really solid work, and finally breaching in with a nice clean entry. Just being able to find xCloud immediately. They had targets and they could scale into the site more successfully after.
That play from Paz will be scary for ENCE to see what they're capable of in these rounds to come. You can never feel safe if you've got a smoke near you because they won't respect it. That's what they've just been told. Now, ENCE managed to put him in a horrible situation, but Marden just not ready for Immo's angle there. And again, a 5v4 for Eternal Fire early. The kind of start they need looking at what they're carrying.
Great shot from Valde, though, has at least equalized the affair. These pistols out for Eternal Fire, challenging at range can be quite difficult, but shouldn't be an issue for XANTARES. We know he can hit heads nice and quick. The fact that they have no retrievable rifle as of yet is a little bit of a concern, but there is one bottom side connector that I think they can retrieve. ENCE have access to this bomb site. Eternal Fire haven't even really moved in to contest it yet.
xCloud may collect something there, but for how long? D-Heart is waiting. What do they choose to do, Eternal Fire? They are kind of funneled here, and that flashbang will certainly help. Snappy with great timing, neutralizing the retake attempt here from Eternal Fire. With that AK in your hands, do you really want to pursue this? No diffuse kit for you. 2 versus 3 as well. Don't fancy your chances. Eternal Fire will look to back away. I do wonder if Paz will consider maybe trying to take a weapon away or something, but again, they've got their own problems now. These two players have $400 between them before this loss bonus comes through, so really got to think about that for the remainder of this half. ENCE move to 5. Perhaps they are stabilizing in this half, which has looked quite patchy so far. 3 players survive as they move forward and close that gap.
Yeah, you can see how paranoid ENCE were as well, that they were still going to try for it because they'd recovered at least something from the round, getting a rifle, having an SMG. They know that their money on the T side as well is not a stable spot, so if they were chased and even more damage was done, that could have been pretty devastating, but ENCE will make sure there was that extra paranoia. They were always ready to fight for those guns and keep themselves alive. Still a couple more rounds in this half to recover. 8-7 wouldn't be all too shabby.
Yeah, this is a great situation for ENCE. Eternal Fire's economy appears to be in the bin. There is an AK-47 here, but there's not so much they can buy. So there's a potential for 7 rounds in this half for ENCE. And again, the start was somewhat horrible, but the finish can look much better. The potential is there at least, but as we have seen, nothing will be for certain until you close out the round completely.
Yeah, just being able to get Valde as well to contribute in these rounds. He's another player that was touted as one of the stars coming in. You know, he's replacing Big Shoes. Spinx is doing some good work with team vitality, and so Valde needs to be able to compensate with that. Because, I mean, especially for Snappy, he worked with Spinx for about 2 years, you know, molding him into the player he is today. And to have a presence like that jump ship from your roster into, I guess, more open seas can be quite difficult to manage.
5-2 to 8. I'm sure a lot of people are rooting for a third map in this series, and that might be down to ENCE to try and force us there. Well, they forced their way back into this game of Mirage. Came in a little cold at the beginning of this one. Got to be careful with that bomb. Valde deploying some grenades, but as we can see, there is some aggression from Eternal Fire with regards to the A bomb site, which might mean that that rifle heads towards B, although Woxic is in that little pilgrimage currently in T spawn, so that rifle is probably going to be in the worst position of all the players as far as trying to win the round is concerned.
All they have to do is delay, because nobody's looking for this flank. If they're just able to get the timing on it, there is a real possibility. XANTARES gets a kill with the USP, and Pass as well will convert. This is a disaster here for ENCE. Now they have been constricted within this site. They need to fight for some kind of territory. Immer on the flank as well. The SunPayus missed on the AWP, but he's able to switch to his pistol as well. Do they expect the second? Even with the flash, it doesn't matter. These rifles from Diha and Valde, though, have brought back that advantage. 2-on-2 still, and ENCE just need to buy more time. They shouldn't have a kit. Eternal Fire, they know that the money is low, and Woxic has to get his skates on if they really want to go for this retake.
Sure, he's looking at the AWP as well. Perhaps it's time to try and grab it and then get out of there. One more frag. He doesn't have time to defuse this bomb, surely. Once the AWP, though, he'll grab it and make his way out of there. Another dangerous round for Eternal Fire, who are looking extremely dangerous, regardless of what they have round to round. But it is another round secured for ENCE. Just about.
It's so mental that we have this double dink from the USP as well from XCloud. They didn't consider his position, and as soon as he diverted that attention, it just looked like they were about to fall into a terrible trap. It's good news that SunPayus is able to get at least one kill on this flank as well, because they confirmed that there was another player coming out of apps. Otherwise, they might have just realized that, hey, we're boxed in here, but they might not have thought that the flank was coming in so quick.
Last round of the first half, and both teams are well equipped. They've both got scopes. How did he miss that one? Probably the Molotov making it hard to see through, but Imor looking for another multi-frag. He'll be denied on this occasion, and there might be trouble on this ramp, or maybe not for Eternal Fire. Out of the palace comes Valde, and there goes Woxic. The violence continues. The bomb was spotted on the ramp, I do believe, so we'll have a look at this rotation and see what Eternal Fire choose to do. Holding in mid for the time being, stabilizing, slowing things down from their perspective at least. A deep flashbang as Snappy looks to make things even better for the squad. Molly's through the smoke in connector as they look to plant the bomb.
Having a kit and having a Molotov as well will make things a little easier here for Eternal Fire to put things together. SunPayus really wants to find this opening duel, and they will be able to find it, but it comes at the cost of Snappy's life, so SunPayus has to be able to clutch a 1-on-2 after that trade, and they don't read the reposition as of yet. Someone holding for it, and it's Paz again. This guy seems like he gets kills in late round moments so consistently. Paz is on a tear, and they do stop the nice little streak there from ENCE, but the half will be called 9-6. Eternal Fire have the lead. We'll see if they can do it on the T side too to close in 2.
ENCE would love to force this to a third map of Nuke. We currently sit on Mirage. They have a 0-1 scoreline. 6-9 as far as Mirage is concerned, moving to the CT side. And perhaps now we will see the strongest ENCE that we'll see on Mirage. They've got some work to do.
We'll see if the 100% win rate on pistols as well continues for Eternal Fire. Fast play over towards A, and Martin under pressure, nice and early. Balcony player as well spotted out. Diha able to get one before going down, but it's a flurry of frags. 3 in an instant. The Molotov finishing off SunPayus, and Snappy around the corner. Nobody clears for him though, so lining up with 2 frags could be a possibility, but Woxic just ducks out. Bomb down. They still have a chance at this end, but Valde's gone as well, so it has to be the in-game leader to clutch, and he's shot straight through the smoke and through the heart of ENCE. Pistols continue to succeed for Eternal Fire.
And that really does up your percentages as they move to double figures now on Mirage, pulling away from ENCE, who will go for the force buy immediately. They cannot allow this train to continue moving. The Eternal Fire train running straight through the A bomb site into the faces of ENCE in the worst way. In the most painful way. Those frags came in so fast indeed. And as we saw on Vertigo, Eternal Fire are quite reasonable at these anti-force buy rounds, but can they do the same on Mirage?
Only one I think they've conceded so far was when Martin clutched, so certainly counting on one hand. Emor taking a lot of damage. Woxic was tagged up earlier by the scout as well, so this is a weakened Eternal Fire. And against these pistols, that can be devastating. Past the smoke, XCloud will be able to find the first on Valde, and Snappy is gone as well. XCloud, a nice little double entry, and Paz has got a lot of distance in here, even getting tagged up by his teammate from behind. So if there was going to be any extra damage, if he was the one that got tagged, it would have been bad, but Eternal Fire dodged the bullet. ENCE leaving to save.
Yeah, disengaging. Looking to use this in the round to come. Another rough start for ENCE. It was hard on the T side, but moving on to the second half, you don't have so many rounds to play with. If things are going to go wrong, you'd rather it happen early than happen late, because that can call curtains. We'll see if Eternal Fire will continue their run, or if ENCE can turn their fortunes around. Maybe when their first buy comes through. Not keeping my hopes up for the next round, but you never know. They've still got 2 Desert Eagles. Eternal Fire, though, will be ready for the test.
It is one of those things as well where, you know, if they'd started in the first half on this T side, they may have gone for the force buy and felt a little bit more incentivized by that, just to feel like they have more rounds to play with. But that is one of those psychology things that we attribute to Counter-Strike, because you start the second half, theoretically you can have as good a performance, but it does influence your decisions sometimes. So yeah, saving these weapons does certainly have some merit for them to make this round at least a little threatening. 11-6 still the score, and it is a projected 12th for Eternal Fire, but they took a lot of damage the last round. All they have to do is convert on a 1 or 2 of those kills, and ENCE would be in business.
Mag 7 has appeared, a weapon you see almost less than the UMP these days. A rare bird, especially on Mirage. He'll be waiting in the apartment for any unlikely player, but the problems will be towards the A bomb site as Eternal Fire force their way in. XANTARES with the Krieg, another one which you don't see all too often, but the scoped weapon is very, very good indeed. More accurate than the AK, in fact, regardless of if you're scoped in or not. And 100% armor penetration certainly helps as well. Valde will do what he can, but there's not much to do at this point for ENCE. SunPayus with the scout versus 3 players. Well, hold on a second. The last 2, well, actually one of them is quite tagged, so maybe there's something to be done here. Can't expect a 10-second defuse unless he finds these kills.
He's got a smoke and a nade as well, trying to finish off business on the low player, but that's the healthy one. Paz and SunPayus has got his hands on an AK, but it feels like he's out of time. He has to defuse right now if he was going to try and win the round, and it won't be. In fact, Paz will make sure he cannot save the Mac or the AK as well, and the upgrade to the AK is nice and swift. A 12th for Eternal Fire.
Getting a little messy towards the end there, but the result is the same. And you can see on those big screens now, the score for Eternal Fire is double that of ENCE, pulling away towards a final. Nasty angle from XANTARES with the Krieg. We'll see what he can do with that in the next round if somebody saves it for him, as he did take one in the face from SunPayus. A noble effort with the scout, but that was certainly an uphill struggle for him. No Krieg in round 19 for Eternal Fire. A Mac 10 for Paz instead. And perhaps they'll go quickly into this B bomb site. They'll be welcomed by Snappy and Valde if they can get those kills. instantly, Snappy goes down. Valde's got a lot to do on his own, though. He's got to wait for his teammates to come through as well. He must stay alive. That tagging and a combo with a Molotov lends to a team kill for Eternal Fire, and Valde's still here, still moving forward, still not allowing a bomb plant.
Does he know that somebody's moved past him is the problem. Woxic will be dealt with at the very least, but nobody has information on where xCloud has positioned himself, so expecting that might come through, but it won't happen. Diha will be dealt with. It is going to be a SunPayus kill onto xCloud in the end, but xCloud certainly had a chance at it there.
Sorry, I was accidentally randomly muting your microphone while you were talking there.
I'm just very good at stop starting, jump in the engine.
Nicely done. Nicely done for Valde as well. Maybe that's the confidence boost that he needs after a cold start on Mirage, not finding a kill for 7 or more rounds. Only an assist to show for his name until later on. 7-12 now. Many tests for ENCE to come. Will it be a repeat of the previous round? We have xCloud with the MAC-10 this time. Perhaps it is his turn. The Molotovs will come out. Smokes as well. Valde and Snappy are here. Valde drops the bomb once again. Sometimes you can play the same round and just tweak something, but Valde doesn't care about your tweaks. Woxic 1 versus 5. No frags, exactly what ENCE need as they look to encourage themselves forward and make this comeback.
It felt like if they were successful on the B hit, it would have been the knockout punch. And unable to hold against the rushes, but 2 times they've tried it and 2 times they've failed. ENCE are swimming in the idea that, yeah, you can hit this B bomb site, but our protocols to get back into it are perfect. And the play from Valde as well has been so conservative, yet aggressive at the same time. He's striking a nice balance on B, especially playing from short. Eternal Fire haven't been able to deal with him.
Oh, he's seen the elbow. SunPayus, though, will yield a kill. The scout versus the AWP. Oh, he knows the angle's in more. It is kind of deep towards that right-hand side, and he goes deep enough, but so does that grenade, and here comes another one. Airstrikes by Diha, but it's the M4 to get the kills. Valde will finish off the job of the AK-47. Fun to watch, but the important thing for ENCE is that he secured a round, and maybe the AWP as well.
Yeah, nice flashy kill from Emor, but it's the front men in Madden and Diha that are able to collect and deal with all of this mid-pressure. Like I said, these nades were really chunky, so good job recognizing that low buy and calling numbers as well towards those top mid boxes. They are within 3. They were doubled once before, but Eternal Fire can't think that this is over just yet. Rebuy full as well, and Diha will find the first. Emor tried to get ahead out of the smokes and down to the mid floor, but floored himself. Valde, I wonder if he might get caught out by a timing here. It's not as though there's any presence over towards the apartments, but xCloud, it's a hard angle to clear. He doesn't even commit to it.
Oh, that should be a free one for Valde, but he's not able to trace to the right-hand side. xCloud's erratic movement will give him half a chance, and he'll make it a 4 versus 4. I wanted to say things were looking kind of comfortable for ENCE. Look like they might be in the driving seat, but perhaps there's still a passenger. We'll see if they can defend this A bomb site. Mudden will drop XANTARES as he falls out of Palace. That's the kind of result they need. A grenade to create some space. A whiff shot. Mudden creeping forward now. That's triple. That's the bomb as well. And things go even deeper for Eternal Fire. They need to climb out of the well, but they might not be able to do so in this round. Woxic gets dropped. 4-5 for ENCE. Worth noting as well, they continue to climb out of the avalanche.
And here's the fear for Eternal Fire. They wanted to go B a couple of rounds just to make sure that ENCE were at least respecting that idea, because they did a lot of mid-control A-side finishes so far on this T side. But now as well, the fact that it went so poorly, I think ENCE are just more than comfortable to invite them into that bomb site, and now are actually putting themselves in better positions to react to the potential A play. And it was, especially if they're able to get an opening duel like it. Losing Valde probably shouldn't have happened, but outside of that, ENCE are doing a good job recovering this half.
Possibly attempt number 3 with the MAC-10 point man play, this time with Tech9's xCloud just on the Glock. They avoid the grenades this time, a little delayed, but Valde is here again. Valde will not allow you to come into this B bomb site without extreme amounts of pain. Snappy here to support as well. And these rounds are great for ENCE, but they're building their money. Snappy's got $11,000 in the bank. a dramatic change in the situation for ENCE as they look to take this to a third map.
Yeah, this is certainly a twist you wouldn't have written into any sort of Harry Potter book. It's really ridiculous to have Eternal Fire immediately flounder on their lead that they came into this game with. They've won both pistols on all of the maps we've played so far. They got off to a nice little jump start as well. They didn't lose to these Force buys, but now having to deal with Valde at B has been just too much to ask for. And you see how much further back they're playing as well. They broke in once on the side of Eternal Fire when they tried to go for a quicker play, and it just hasn't been as fruitful.
Suddenly, there's one round between these two squads. We were looking at ENCE in terms of pressure for much of this game, but maybe the tides have gone back in the direction of Eternal Fire here. They have an opportunity to avoid a third map, but maybe that is slipping away as ENCE seem to grow with power. What does the buy look like for Eternal Fire? They've got the AWP and the AKs out once again. Creeping behind the smoke, Woxic is elevated once again, and SunPayus is down. Early 5v4 for Eternal Fire, minute 35 on the clock. So many B pushes recently. Snappy may wonder if another one is on the way, but perhaps it'll be a slower round now that they've got an advantage to sit on.
3 players here, and looks like they want to try and set up for a boost on towards that short position. If they're able to get it, it would feel a little safer in their mid-hold. How they can post up and Snappy can move. It means that the B bomb site is somewhat off limits. Bottom player in the stack is looking at the apartments tentatively, and Eternal Fire will see if they can divert their attention. Smoke towards the jungle from the B site, but Madden is able to respond with the nade, so the flames will keep them back, but XCloud got past it. Snappy is there to at least find that kill right back, and Emor's been dropped, so now they try and change directions into Connector. They find Diha, and they break into A if they're able to get up Con, but now they have to worry about how Madden's going to play this situation, because if he finds the timing, he could have lined them up, and that was devastating, but he wasn't able to get a single kill. Now it's again Snappy, a clutch needed, but Eternal Fire might just inch past him.
Really tall order for Snappy to do anything in this round now. They know exactly where he is, and this time that smoke is a brick wall. Moving towards CT. Got a 1 versus 1 he was looking for, but he will be denied by Paz. Key frags from XANTARES opening the door of opportunity on the A bomb site, and they will convert on that opportunity. Just as ENCE are about to tie the score, Eternal Fire moves to 13.
Yeah, I think Diha thought he'd done his job as well from Connector, finding Emor so quickly, but as soon as that Molotov went down into the B apartments, you could tell that Eternal Fire were starting to back themselves away, and I don't think he was quite considering that idea so heavily. He probably wouldn't have played inside of the Connector like he had done. Sharp shot from XANTARES to have found that opportunity, but it really did just swing the door wide open for Eternal Fire.
Valde falls back from Connector, but Snappy is still here. He's been very busy on the B bomb site lately, so this is quite a change in configuration from ENCE. We can see there was a heat map, there'd be a lot around Connector, but has he picked a poor time to move elsewhere? Because have a look at the radar. There seems to be another focus towards the B bomb site from Eternal Fire. Perhaps not too fast on this occasion, but an AWP awaits them, and XFlad goes way too wide there, and he'll be punished for his sins.
That's all the conditioning. Snappy has typically just been jump spotting or playing deep within the bomb site, so having the AWP this time, they weren't expecting it. Flash to try and converge still onto this B site, and SunPayus misses his opportunity. Another smoke that's down, and they're trying to pressure, but Snappy's there in support. The smoke as well will keep him safe, but he moves into flames, and he's burning alive. Paz finally able to finish off business, but they cannot get anything further. A Woxic 1v3, and he's out on the site, but he's getting shot, and he has no idea where from. 12th round here for ENCE. They are within touching distance again.
Really tough test for the CTs win, and they do prevail on this occasion, but that air strafing to find information in the apartments was absolutely wild. You can see XANTARES creeping through the smokes. In this series, the smokes are really not being respected by either squad, and it makes it very entertaining indeed. 12 to 13 now, and things will be rough again for the T side, who take a timeout to consider their options. Might have to get the abacus out and calculate just how much money they can spend, how they can best spread the wealth here.
ENCE found solutions. Took a little bit Came into the second half, and of course Eternal Fire won the pistol, but when they've been on these rifles, they've been much more successful, and especially with all these B hits, it feels like that cannot be the targeted bomb site here for Eternal Fire. I don't even know how they counter-react, because it's actually very infrequently you see CT sides have players in heavy quantities cross over with each other, because you open yourself up to blind spots. We actually saw that from ENCE in that round. There were 3 players grouped in the connector in like the opening 20 seconds. But once they actually got to the setup that they were looking for, it was impenetrable.
If XCloud gets dropped in this round, that'll be a lot of the utility gone for Eternal Fire, although he's used half of it already. And again, another focus on B. And this can be a common thing where you repeatedly do a similar strat and just tweak something if you think you're close enough. Speaking of common, throwing an incendiary down the apartments and then spraying that kitchen area often happens, and XANTARES will fall victim to this. So it's time for a plan B for Eternal Fire. You can see them moving away from their initial intentions, but they're running towards 3 players on this A bomb site. ENCE will be comfortable. They will await this push from Eternal Fire.
They don't really have the utility to do this rerouting, though, because you don't want smoke down jungle, maybe even fighting for connector if you're going to smoke CT. They want that sort of coverage, but because they have to go to plan B, they're going to be a little light in terms of what they bring to the site.
Might just be about getting that entry, a flashbang to take the angle away, but SunPayus will deliver the flick anyway. 5 versus 3. Modern will look to compound the problems for Eternal Fire and will do exactly that, dropping the bomb, dropping Woxic as well, and that means the score is tied, 13 apiece. And it looks like we're getting some hype in the ENCE squad, and that might be what they need. Galvanize these players, bit of bravado.
Finally, something to smile about here, ENCE. They have clawed away at that lead. Eternal Fire thought they might have had it, but just maybe that full sense of security, how many times they hit that B bomb site and were unsuccessful. They are now at a tipping point. This won't be the strongest of buys here for the Turkish squad, and ENCE can look to steal that lead away from them. This time they've got resources. An A-side hit could be well placed, getting those pistols some distance into the bomb site, playing close if ENCE decide to, and they jump past the smoke. SunPayus has to hit those shots and has to retreat, and Manin's trying to cover as well, but now that they've got an advantage, they can sit pretty on that. Imor's lurk has found nothing as well, and they are just getting chewed apart by the ENCE riflers. There is another one into Sandwich, but SunPayus makes sure to take a bite out of it, and Diha as well will deliver, so a 14th found first by ENCE.
I love that confidence from SunPayus. Goes back through the smoke, searching, seeking, finding one in Sandwich and taking him all the way down. Very nice response there from ENCE, who take the lead now. It has not been an easy one, but maybe they are warming up at the most important time. Eternal Fire, though, that wasn't their full buy. This is Woxic with the AWP. The 4 AKs out. Plenty of utility on this occasion. See if they can get the initial kill. Diha not gonna give them any respect, moving up towards top mid. He sees the back of one, but he's blind as well, and that won't pay off for him. Down he goes. Eternal Fire, their advantage won't last too long as SunPayus will trade.
SunPayus has been on it with this AWP, so if Woxic's able to somehow deal with him, that would be ideal. Went for the wallbang, saw where the nade was coming from, and couldn't quite put it together in time, but Manin's probably still lucky to be alive in some sense.
Now, where do Eternal Fire find a hole in the defenses? 4 on 4, minute 13. Big focus towards A at present. We can see XCloud lurking towards top mid. The player has fallen there for either side. But have a look at ENCE. They're unsure as to the situation in mid, which means that they'll feel very vulnerable towards B, and they'll send a second player there. Eternal Fire have essentially cut noise. Now they serve some grenades towards this A bomb site, and the rotation will have to come through. Modern is on an island alone, trying to avoid this incendiary, getting absolutely drilled by Paz. SunPayus has some angles to stop some bomb plants, but with nobody on short and XCloud in mid, they can't stop all the plants possible.
Bomb down, and down a man as well. Around the smoke, Valde will try his hand at it. SunPayus continues to pluck away at the Eternal Fire side. Pass so close to the duel, and Valde wins it. He adjusts in time, so now it's XANTARES and XCloud have to be the ones to find it. And that plant out in the open, exposed to both positions, so it's all about timings and who goes first, XANTARES or XCloud. XANTARES is so low, but they're not even sticking it here on the side of ENCE. Valde tries to take the duel, and XANTARES gets it. So SunPayus has to move and save. He didn't follow in on this attempt. They didn't have a kit, at least on both of these players, so Eternal Fire will squeak into a tie again.
Terrorists win.
This one is going all the rounds, isn't it? It really is. ENCE have the money to withstand the storm of that round from Eternal Fire, but this is a must-win situation for them now. Eternal Fire heading towards match point, ENCE wanting to take game point for themselves. One of these teams will come up short after this round. Not the time to capitulate now.
I couldn't believe that last round entry from Paz. I mean, we didn't see him. He double wall-banged as well. So we can certainly see that he's having his influence on the series. Nice fast mid-control sitting inside the smoke. They were flashed up. Valde not spotted though, and the spam is right on the money, but doesn't finish off the job.
Oh! Oh, that's quite a way to do it. Style points for Valde. Very, very nice presence of mind there, and they avoid the trade there. Dihar comes and drills, and indeed it is going to be ENCE likely to make it to game point. 2 versus 5 here, and oh boy, look at what this means for the next round. Look at the lack of cash for Eternal Fire. They've got to do something here, but what a horrible situation for them. Fantastic spot for ENCE though. He looked to close out the last 2 players. SunPayus has an inkling of where XANTARES is and delivers on Paz as well. Exactly the round ENCE needed. No bomb plant, not much to fight with in the next round for Eternal Fire. Very good situation for ENCE.
It's not as dire as it could have been. They have not won many rounds, in fact, on this T side, so their loss bonus is rather high. They can still squeak out a couple of rifles, and they may have to make the consolation that a couple pistols may be necessary as well if they want utility, but this is still going to be a very hard call here for Eternal Fire. I mean, just finding the vulnerability. How do they guarantee that they can get themselves into a 30th round when so much has gone wrong? They've tried different looks on the A and the B bomb site. They've tried to go quick. They've tried to stagger it. They've gone for mid-control, and now that's unsuccessful as well, where they might be found some success in the opening 3 rounds of this game. There's a lot going wrong. There's a lot of different moving pieces, and part of the problem has been Valde on the B bomb site and SunPayus and how dynamic he's been on A.
Well, they've mustered quite a reasonable buy from this Eternal Fire. They can absolutely get some nice entries there. This looks like the buy for one of their B round attempts that we saw earlier on. But there's definitely a different spread in terms of this round. Lots of presence in that mid area. Dihar once again looking for something, desperate for a frag in a mid position. Will he swing with his teammate? The last questions of the smoke. Eternal Fire will start to fall back now. We look at their utility for the remainder of the round. They've got 2 smoke grenades, one which might be deployed by Woxic here, one incendiary in the hands of XANTARES. So once they do push the site, they will be somewhat light on their grenades. They might be shaping up for a split of the A bomb site here, it looks like.
Oh, Dihar realized he got spotted and wanted to take the duel. Realized as well he couldn't escape that situation. So man down. Eternal Fire may have found the breach they need. Mine is committing into the bomb site and has SunPayus there to support as well. Valde can probe for information later on, but it's all going to be coming down to these 2 A-side players.
How about that for a peek from Imor? He knows Martin's likely to be in that position, a tough one to survive in, and he won't survive on this occasion. Just when he thought it was safe to take it to nuke, Eternal Fire looking for overtime. Oh. But hold on a second, SunPayus has dropped a bomb, and he's dropping everybody. XCloud left in a 1 versus 1. Instant trade from Snappy. They're taking it to nuke. They're forcing it to nuke. They will not stand down.
A collateral from SunPayus, and he was devastating on that CT side. Valde as well recovering his game. So many different factors here for ENCE to finally pull through, but it went to all 30, and it means we need to go to a 3rd map. We'll be back after the break.